without the Second Amendment. Your right to freedom of speech, your freedom of religion, the freedom and liberties that we have in this country are because of the Second Amendment, and never ever forget that.
She's not going to be the great savior for the Democrats, and they can't skip over the first black woman vice president with the whitest man ever in history, Gavin Newsom.
It's time that we, the people, this country back.
And if you try to transition a child, you are guilty of child abuse. And every doctor, every nurse, every clinician that is helping that is culpable in that crime.
This thing is so full of pork that even Scrooge and the Grinch are happy about it.
There wouldn't be a First Amendment without the Second Amendment. Your right to freedom of speech, your freedom of religion, the freedom and liberties that we have in this country are because of the Second Amendment, and never ever forget that.
She's not going to be the great savior for the Democrats, and they can't skip over the first black woman vice president with the whitest man ever in history, Gavin Newsom.
It's time that we, the people, take this country back.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Congressman Andy Ogles coming at you live. Now, this is episode 43 of Restoring the Republic. Now, it's actually been a while since I've been with you, but it's been a crazy few weeks in D.C., but of course, back home in the district. So what I want to talk to you about real quick is the ice, the snowstorm that hit Nashville, Middle Tennessee, and in particular, the failure of NES and their own internals that show their failures. But, let's get to it, right? So I've sent a letter to the Tennessee General Assembly asking them to step in and take oversight of NES and, quite frankly, remove their president, their director from office, because at the end of the day, there's a complete failure of leadership. Now, look, down in Murray County where I live, they've been trimming the trees. They've been maintaining the vegetation. In Williamson County, maintaining the vegetation. You didn't see this type of loss of power that you saw in Nashville. Now, to give you context, in November of this past year, so just a couple of months ago, NES's own internal audit determined that they were failing. They gave themselves a failing grade on vegetation management. So what were they doing? Well, they had over 100 DEI sessions, so they were more interested in diversity and all that other nonsense instead of doing their freaking job, which is to deliver electricity, keeping you warm and keeping the lights on. And so now you have, over the period of time, 90,000, 100,000 people were without power. We have now 5 fatalities because of their failure, and the response has been abysmal. The mayor has not called for her ousting. The mayor's not doing his job. And so it's time for the Tennessee General Assembly. So I've sent this letter. We'll post it for you so you can see it, and encouraging the Tennessee General Assembly to assert their jurisdiction, their authority. Now, to keep in mind, under Tennessee statute, and it's 752-112, the Metro Council can step in, remove the board. But they won't do that because they're woke and they're more interested in DEI. So it's up to the General Assembly to step in. And again, this isn't Andy Ogles' political rhetoric. This is their own internal audit. Score of 51 out of 100 on failing to properly maintain the vegetation over the power lines. This was predictable. Nashville, Tennessee has been in the transition zone of ice and snow for my entire lifetime. We get more ice than snow. This was a predictable outcome. And the loss of life is unacceptable. And the response of NES and the response of the woke, liberal, radical mayor is unacceptable. Now, he's going to try to throw her under the bus. I think we should throw them politically, proverbially speaking, under the bus. We need new leadership in Nashville. It matters who leads. Again, there's no reason 2 weeks out, when this is all said and done, 2 weeks out before power is restored to Nashville. This is one of the bright lights of our country, Nashville, Tennessee. Economic engine of the South. Truly a bastion of what America means. And NES has failed the people of Middle Tennessee, failed the people of Nashville in their own audit. Again, you don't have to believe me. Their own internal audit, their own citing inadequate vegetation management and maintenance, which will result the disruption system, increasing frequency and duration of outages. They predicted this was going to happen, and they did nothing. They did nothing. They are more focused on being activist and being woke and placating the left. Enough is enough. And up here in Washington, D.C., been working closely with the president to get his agenda accomplished. We've passed our appropriations bills. We've sent them over to the Senate. They bounced one back. We passed that package last night. Obviously, there was some back and forth on that, but ultimately it was passed. And so we avoid a shutdown. Now we have this 2-week tug of war as we deal with Homeland Security. But as someone who's chairman for the Homeland Security Committee, I'm committed to our men and women in uniform and making sure that they have the funding they need to secure our borders, to keep you safe, to keep drugs and killers off of our streets. And so with that, this is Congressman Andy Ogles wishing you a blessed day, stay warm, and quite frankly, to some of our tipsters who have given us some of the information, continue to give us that information. To those National Guard members who have given us information where you've been hindered in doing your job, please continue to send us that information, because we're here, we're working for you, and we will do our job to try to hold people accountable.